It's hard to believe for younger viewers, but the purely Tagalog programming you're seeing now wasn't always the case in Philippine TV. There was a time that newscasts were mostly in full English.
A Tricycle Drivers Association's president was shot to death by another tricycle driver in Pasig.
Primetime is filled with American sitcoms and dramas, and voiceovers were not in Tagalog.
During the conflict between a redneck southern sheriff and a black detective from the north.
Then, by the mid-90s, the big networks, ABS-CBN and GMA in particular, slowly started pivoting towards a full-on masa rebuild, saan na ilalagay ang maraming mga English shows ng dalawang higante. Laki rin ginastos nila sa broadcast rights ng mga yan, mabubulok lang sa storage. Enter GMA's Citynet 27 and ABS-CBN's Studio 23. With the decision to become full-fledged Filipino channels, ABS-CBN and GMA tapped into UHF as a repository for their library of foreign programming. GMA was the first to make their move, launching Citynet 27 in 1995. The channel didn't have much at first, paulit-ulit lang na NBA programs maghapon. I'm sure hindi lang ako yung umay na umay panoorin yung Tres ni Isaiah Ryder na sandamakmak ang replay. They eventually added their own newscast and American shows, some of which were never on GMA's rotation like Law and Order and Time Tracks. They also shared block time with Channel V for a while. Unfortunately, the channel didn't last long, which explains why not a lot of people knew about it and the dearth of retrievable footage. It spent just 4 years on air, then was replaced by EMC, a music channel that was the precursor to Channel V Philippines. This didn't last either, as Channel V eventually took the entire spot later that year, dissolving EMC in the process before bowing out themselves in 2001. The frequency would remain unoccupied for several years until GMA introduced QTV in 2005. Studio 23 had a much more prolific tenure compared to Citynet, lasting almost 2 decades. It began in 1996 and touted itself as the premium network, with its upscale tone, quickly putting up the American shows that originally occupied the evening slots of ABS-CBN. It even had its own mascot and a catchy theme song composed and performed by the power couple of Martin Rivera and Pops Fernandez. They weren't just a dumping ground for ABS-CBN's foreign library, though. They also had a news program of their own and plenty of homegrown Filipino shows on their slate, all delivered in English. Like Citynet, Studio 23 had a music channel occupying part of their schedule, which was MTV Asia. This partnership ended in 2000 with Studio 23 opting to launch their own music channel called Mix. Nung tumagal, unti-unting nang naging masa ang tone ng Studio 23, which one could argue defeats the purpose of why the channel was created to begin with. Ang medyo upscale na VJs ng Mix, napalitan ng mga artista. I know paradoxical na sabihin masa si Hart or Luis, but back then they were. Nag-rebrand sila as Kabarkada, no doubt a play on the familial motifs ng ibang networks. Nagsulputan ng mga shows and movie blocks na Tagalog, pati voice-over Tagalog na rin. Beginning with the acquisition of broadcast rights to UAAP basketball in 2000, dumami ang mga sports programs ng Studio 23 throughout the years, extending to women's volleyball, cheer dances, badminton, mixed martial arts, culminating in their rebrand to Sports and Action, or also known as SNA in 2014, officially ending the Studio 23 brand after 17 years. 'Tis a sad day for all kabarkadas. I'm going to go on record and say, Studio 23 was my favorite Filipino channel of all time. Halata naman na halos lahat ng tapes ko and uploads come from that channel. It's also not hyperbole when I say there will never be another channel like it. It's true kasi cord cutting is the direction we're headed, if not already. For sure, hindi ako nag-iisa with these thoughts. If you consider yourself a Studio 23 fan as well, back me up in the comments section.